Okay, read it nicely, sound it out. No, that's letter Q makes what sound? Good. Good job. Upside down. Good.
Job.
No, there's no S at the end. Try one more time. No S at the end.
Job.
Good job.
Red.
Yes, red.
Space battle. The time has come for the rebels to put their plan into action. The rebels fly X-Wings when attacking the Death Star with the Empire forces trying to blast them in their TIE fighters. The fast and furious battle takes place deep in space.
Hi there, I'm Jim. I'm a reading teacher and father of 4 kids, Ray, Ethan, Joy, and Zoe. And I started teaching my kids to read when they were all around 2.5 years old. And by the time they were 3 years old, they were all able to read independently. And at nighttime, when it's bedtime stories, they're sitting in my lap and they are reading their bedtime stories to me. Now you might be thinking, well, gee, this guy probably has smart kids, but do smart kids learn to read early? Or does learning to read early make children smarter? Now, I'm a firm believer that reading has incredible benefits for a child's growth and development, and even scientific studies have shown that early reading can boost a child's IQ by at least 6 points. And I see this firsthand with my own children, with all the kids that I've taught over the years, that they're not just amazing readers and spellers, but they do incredibly well in school. Having taught for over 10 years now, I've worked with children of all ages. Many are younger, 2 to 3 year old children, and I've also worked with many older, 6 to 9 year old struggling readers. Now, with the struggling readers, they were at risk of repeating their grade levels because they couldn't read. And because of that, they had low self-esteem, low self-confidence, and reading was a really stressful event for them. And the parents of these kids, they were stressed out as well because, they couldn't figure out why their children were having so much struggles with reading. But once I get these kids through my program, usually in just 8 to 10 weeks, they're all caught up to grade level. And you see this amazing transformation where they go from not being able to read and having low self-confidence, low self-esteem, all of a sudden to being able to read and read really, really well. And all of a sudden their confidence shoots up, their self-esteem is higher, and they start doing better in school and they start getting better grades. Okay? Now, the reason why these children struggle with reading is because of how reading is taught. Now, these are perfectly bright and intelligent kids, but they couldn't read because they were being taught with whole language, sight words, and word shape memorization. And they were also being taught ineffective strategies of guessing and just skipping over unknown words. And I have a short video clip coming up that's going to explain how and why teaching sight words can lead to serious reading problems. Okay, so here it is. How does teaching sight words lead to reading problems in children? You see, English is an alphabet-based language where the words we see comprise of individual letters or a combination of letters which represent different sounds. And these sounds combine together to form the words we hear. When you teach the memorization of sight words, you are in effect teaching English as if it were a character-based language such as Chinese, where each character represents a meaning and the only way to learn is to memorize the shapes of the characters. English words were never designed to be memorized as shapes. When you teach a child to read using sight words, the child learns by memorizing the shapes of the words. The child must rely on visual cues to try to figure out what a word is, and this quickly leads to confusion and frustration. The key stumbling block is that there are so many words with similar shapes that look alike. Let me give you a few examples. Bunt, hunt, hurt. Barn, born, burn. 3, there, these. The list goes on. This combined with school-taught reading strategies of guessing and skipping over unknown words, you can quickly see how and why so many of our children struggle daily with reading. Imagine this is your child trying to learn to read by memorizing sight words. let's introduce 20 new words. So far, so good. Now, how about we teach 20 more words? Not too bad. How about 50 more? 100 more? 500 more? The Oxford Dictionary contains over 170,000 English words. You need to have a vocabulary of about 3,000 words to be able to read around 95% of all common texts. How successful do you think your child or anyone will be in memorizing 3,000 words? Besides, do you really want to make your child suffer through the confusion and frustration of memorizing hundreds and even thousands of words? The confusion of word shapes is often a cause of reading difficulties, and so often when I work with struggling readers, I have to first break their habit of seeing words as a whole and show them that there is a simple and effective way to figure out what a word is by its parts. So what do you think? Makes a lot of sense, right? Now let's take a look at the board behind me here. I've written some words. We have hurt, hunt, bunt, barn, born, burn. Now with a struggling reader, when they see these words, what they're going to see, they're going to be looking at these words as shapes. So if we draw a shape around the words, this is what struggling readers look at. And because of this, all these words look exactly the same. So this is why you have kids guessing words, reading words incorrectly. But we have to teach these struggling readers to actually look inside the word. You know, why does the word hurt sound the way it does, and why does the word hunt sound the way it does? Okay, because when we look at hurt, it has 4 letters, H-U-R-T. Yes, but it has actually just 3 sounds. We have H making the sound, U-R together making the sound, and letter T making the t sound. So when you teach a child that and you teach them to string these sounds together, we have hurt, okay? So, and then when we look at hunt, all of a sudden we see that it has 4 letters, yes, and the 4 letters make 4 individual sounds. So we have H making the sound, U making the sound, and N making the N sound, and letter T making the T sound. So we have hunt. Okay? So let me tell you a little bit about my teaching methods. Phonics has been around for hundreds of years, so I didn't reinvent the wheel, but I did make it a whole lot better by teaching a very specific type of phonics called synthetic phonics. And on top of that, we combine the teaching of synthetic phonics together with phonemic awareness. Now, a lot of people have actually never heard of phonemic awareness, and they're not sure what it is. And when we're talking about phonemic awareness, we're dealing with the smallest units of sound, okay? So, for example, when we talk with the word hurt here, even though it has 4 letters, it actually has only 3 sounds because it has hurt. Now, a lot of times you see parents that teach the 26 alphabet letters to their children. They teach A makes the A sound, B makes the B sound. And so the child learns all the letter sounds, but they still can't read because you know what? You can teach a child all the letters and their sounds, but if you don't actually teach them what to do with those letter sounds, how to string those sounds together to read, they won't be able to read. Okay? So this is what phonemic awareness deals with. So I want to share a quote with you here. It was actually from the National Reading Panel where they did a meta-study of over 1,960 different studies. And in their study, they stated this: synthetic phonics and phonemic awareness training accelerates reading and spelling skills and improves reading and reading comprehension. So imagine this for a moment. It could be a few weeks or a few months from now, depending on the age of your child. If you have a younger 3-year-old child, your child could be reading independently at that time. And at nighttime, when it's time to go read those bedtime stories, your child will be reading to you. And your friends and family are just going to be blown away by how well your child can read. And if you have an older 6 to 9-year-old child that might be having some reading difficulties or reading struggles, our program is going to help your child get caught up to grade level quickly. And your child is not going to find reading stressful anymore because your child is going to be good at it. And because of this, it's going to help them build their confidence, build their self-esteem, and you're going to see better school performance and higher grades. And if you have a child in between, in the 4 to 5-year-old range, our program is going to help you prepare your child for school and set them up for success. So by the time that your child enters school, they're going to be reading to learn while all the other kids are still just learning to read. So our reading program has 2 stages of learning. We start off with the Phonics Foundations program, which has 32 step-by-step lessons, And we follow that up with the advanced phonics program, which has 33 step-by-step lessons. And everything in our program is taught in a very logical and sequential order. So in our Phonics Foundations program, we start off with letters, letter sounds, and we work up to words, sentences, and even short stories. So by the time you finish our Foundations program and you finish the 32 lessons, your child is going to be able to read simple short stories. And after finishing our Foundations program, you can then continue with our Advanced program, which deals with all the complexities of English. Now, this is where we get into situations where we have 2 or more letters representing a single sound, and also situations where you have a single sound being represented by multiple different spellings. So let me give you some examples. Did you know that the CH digraph makes 3 sounds, sh, sh, and k? The sh sound has 5 different spellings, SH, CH, TI, CI, SI, SSI. Did you know that the long A sound has 8 different spellings, and that the S sound also has 8 different spellings? The long O sound has 7 different spellings, and how about long vowels, short vowels, R controlled vowels, and voiced and unvoiced sounds? All of this might sound complicated and maybe even a little bit confusing, but that's okay. You know, our program is going to break everything down into simple to understand, easy to manage chunks for you to teach to your child. You just have to follow our step-by-step lesson plans and you're going to see great results. And if you're thinking, well, gee, I'm a busy parent. You know, I got to work, I got to take my kids to soccer practice, piano practice, I got to cook, clean, laundry. You know, I get it. I'm a busy parent of 4 kids myself, so I know what it's like. But you know what? Our program only requires about 10 to 15 minutes of your time each day. So if you have 10 minutes to spare, you can teach your child to read with our program, because you know our early lessons take only 2 to 3 minutes to complete, whereas the later lessons will take you only 5 to 8 minutes to complete. Okay? Now, and if you're thinking, well, you know, I don't know phonics, I don't know phonetics, I don't have teaching experience, can I really use this program to teach my child? And the answer to that is absolutely yes, because, you know, our program does not require the parent to have phonics knowledge. It does not require you to have teaching experience, because, you know, we show you how to teach everything following a very logical and sequential order, and all of our lesson plans are laid out step by step. And all you have to do is follow our step-by-step lesson plans, and you'll be able to teach your child to read. And if you have a younger child that's really energetic and you might have some difficulties to get them to sit with you and cooperate, you know, that's okay too, because, you know, our lessons are really short, where the early lessons can be done in just 2 to 3 minutes. And the great thing about our program is that we also include fun and engaging games to make the learning process fun. So when children have fun when they're learning, magic happens. So grab the opportunity, get involved, take action, and get real results so that you give your child the best tool available to achieve their potential. I'm so confident in my teaching methods that I can offer an amazing 60 days money-back guarantee. And everything in our program is available in an instant access digital download. So you can get everything right now. Simply click the button or the link you see, and let's get started.